Okay, so the push publishing is the most important. So let's just say you create a new movie. Let me see if I did set it up. Add to bundle. No. Okay. So system configuration, publishing environments. Receive from. Oh, yeah. So I need to bring up my local host. So this is the server we're on is going to be my production server. The other one is going to be my local server. So I'm going to take something from my local computer and try to push it to your server that you're on. Did I shut you down? Control C. Okay. Well, let me see if I can do something from demo. I've got another server set up. Maybe I can set up from the other server. Yes, I do. So let me go to Amazon EC2 and go to this server. Okay, 1 second. Okay, copy to clipboard. All right. So this is what basically webmasters will do to set up push publishing. First, that has to be set up or it doesn't allow you to do it. All right. Hey, whoever's chip munching, mute your microphone. So I've got another server set up and I'm going to try to push from our server over to it. So I'm going to delete this and I'm going to send to my remote environment is this IP address. And it's another one. It has to be running on the same. So I'll call it other server. Other. No, I'll call it prod. Okay. And I'll let myself as an admin user do it. And once you add an environment, then they would set up what type it is. And this other server is only HTTP. The server address is here. This is what the webmasters would do. So just ignore 8080, 8080, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll call this endpoint production server. Save, that's pushing it here. And then I would have to come over to this other side and I would have to sign in. And I would have to go to the other side and form a handshake, basically. And I would have to allow our server to push to it. So I'm going to eliminate Dean's computer. And I'm going to receive from this one. So I'm going to add one right now. Call this one Washington State Training. And then I'm going to come over here to our IP address. And I'm going to allow us to push over there minus the HTTP. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this should be a path to an encrypted file, but I'm doing it quick. Okay, so now that I've got a receiver and a sender, this guy is my receiver. So this would be my production server on the right. So I'm going to move him off screen and we're going to try to send something to him. Now, before we do that, I can go to, this is a way you can kind of diagnose. Hopefully I've set it up right. There's an integrity checker that allows me to check and see whether I've got any duplicated content, which I might. I might have folder like a training folder that I set up on that other server as well. Yeah, I have done conflicts. I have been a bad boy. So it's got a folder called training. Yeah, like I said, I created a training folder on the production server. I created another one here. And so we just won't do anything with folder, but I could fix it. I could fix it remote, but I don't want to change this other server. There's actually another client on that other server. So I'm going to try and be careful here. And I just want to push like maybe a little piece of content. So we created a new movies content type. Let me make sure there is no movies over here, although that should have showed up. Let's see, types and tags, content types, content, types and tags, content types, refresh you, and content types. And is there movies over here? Movies. Aha, great. I went ahead and made sure it was that we had our names before the movies. Okay. So great. So I should be able to actually push a piece of my content over there, even though these servers aren't totally in sync. So I am going to pick whoever did Smokey and the Bandit because in honor of Burt Reynolds here. All right. So I'm going to pick Smokey and maybe Dances with Wolves here. And I'm going to say what's available here in, it's available workflow actions. And here is push publish. Okay. Whenever your admin gives you this ability, it depends upon your permissions to push publish, you will see possibly this or possibly a one-click button. If it's just a one-click button that's on the content, like instead of save and publish, it just says push to prod, then that means they already did it for you. If you see a button on your content, the second you create your content, you save and publish, and then you push to prod, and it'll do it for you. Otherwise, if they say, no, you're going to be pushing to multiple environments, this is what you would see. I like the one click and push over, and the user doesn't have to think about anything, right? And then I tell, as a webmaster, I predetermine what's going to happen whenever they click on that button. And I could give them a button that says push to staging. I could give them another button that says push to production, or I can just limit it whatever way I want to, and it's all pre-configured. If they give you, which I don't recommend, but if they give you this option that you can just right click on anything and then say push, then it will, if you only can push to one environment, it'll auto populate it. If you can push to multiple environments, it'll list all of them. But I only set up one push publishing connection. If they do give you this ability, which they may not, what does this stuff mean? If they do give you the permissions, I need to show you how to handle this box and what these buttons mean. Okay? That's my job. What you're permission to do later, that's a totally different conversation. Okay, so if you push right now, then it goes immediately right now. If you select remove, that means you pushed it, and then maybe 60 seconds later you said, oh, that was the wrong piece of content. So you can select that same piece of content, click remove, click push, and then it'll remove it from that receiving server on the prod environment in this case. Right? So you can push content right now, remove content from that other environment right now, or you can say, I want to push it now and remove it later. So let's just say this was a Christmas coupon I had on a product or something like that, or it was only something that applied for a certain period of time. I could go ahead and set, whatever date in the future, December 1st. Now, I'm going to push it right now just because I want to see it go right now, right? So I'm going to push, and how do you track it, right? So this is going to go to publishing queue, and I see Smokey and the Bandit Dances with Wolves are already bundling up, and I didn't need to push the content type, okay? The content type is automatically going to go over. I look over here on status history, I refresh, bundles, refresh, pending. Come on. He's still bundling up. Huh. See, I didn't set a future time, did I? 5:40 p.m. No, that should be, it's probably 5:40 p.m. on that server. So where's my status history? Aren't you doing anything? All right. Oh, I did, didn't I? Oh, I'm bad. Okay, let me stop that. And let me try this again. Dope. Bad job, Dean, bad job. Okay, so there we go. It's immediately bundling up now. And it says bundle sent already. So I didn't even get a chance to get to this tab before it already sent it over. I can keep refreshing. Oh, there he goes. It's already done. So now I go over here to whoever created Dances with Wolves. I go over here. And not only did it actually, I go to the content search manager. I should be able to see movies as a brand new content type that didn't exist here before. MOV. There it is, movies, and Smokey and the Bandit and Dances with Wolves. I click on it and I see your dependencies, and I don't know who uploaded that. Who was that? So Aaron, your content's fully over here. The only thing that does not sync and carry over as a dependency is genre, right? Now, genre, the way that you push categories, there's two different options. And I think actually it's because I already had genre here. So if I would have looked in my conflicts, I would have seen that this guy's already got another one that's of a different, yeah, see, he's already got there. So there was a conflict that I needed to resolve through the integrity checker. Otherwise, it would have created, but what it's doing is it's saying, hey, there's a genre here with one ID and there's a genre over here with another ID. So it just, it still pushed my content because it didn't want it. We try not to fail. We try to, uh, allow the content to push and not fail every single time. But if I looked in my integrity checker, I should have caught that. Now, how do I sync these categories with the other categories? I can come over here to categories, and either I could push my content with just that one content, or I can click here and just push publish right now all of my categories over to that other server. So I push publish, I force the push. Just the force push means I don't care when the last time this stuff was updated or when the last time I pushed the content. I want to make sure that everything here synchronizes with that other server. So it's pushing over right now, and I can also go ahead and do the site publishing queue and see if I get any problems with my categories. There's no problems with my categories. So now if I can push my content again. Thank you. I can push my content again. I'm going to force push it. And this is important. This is an important concept. Now I want to make sure my Smokey and the Bandit, now that I've pushed my categories and the categories are in sync, I want to click Smokey and the Bandit, Dances with Wolves. And if I go to push right now, nothing would happen at all. If I just push like this, nothing will happen at all. Why? Because the system's smart. If you choose 100,000 employees and you click push publish, it's going to say, hey, look, buddy, you already pushed these 100,000 employees. And since the last time you did, there's only 15 that are new and 20 that got updated. So I'm pushing 35 pieces of content. Now, that's a good thing for it to do so that you aren't always pushing the same list of content and pushing, taking up tons of network time. But if some bad person goes to the receiving server and deletes all your employees, you need a way, even if you already push published 5 minutes ago, those employees, you need a way to get those employees updated immediately, regardless of whether on the local server they were updated or not. Right? So that's what force push is. So since I already pushed these over, but there was a conflict with the category, I'm going to force push them again to make sure they carry over with the categories that now exist on the receiving side. And now I should be able to then go over to publishing queue and my bundles and see him push. Here's my status history, fresh. And I see this bundle sent. Refresh, now success, and you do get a report. So if it did say fail, which luckily we haven't failed, it does give me a complete report on why it might have or not or what. I could even try the bundle again. So now if I go back over here and then I go back to, oh, am I on a different server? Yeah, that's a different server. If I want to push content on a specific container on a specific page, then I need to push the page. And if I push the page, it'll take the container, it'll take the template, it'll take everything that's a dependency of that page. So it's a one-to-one mirroring, okay? So if I push the page, and it's the page has a brand new template, a brand new container, but you can't magically push a piece of content and say, okay, I want this content on this server that's attached to nothing to push publish to 50 pages on the other server that it's not connected to on this server.